Hello, my name is Robert Lunte. I'm the founder of the Vocalist Studio and the author of a popular book and online coursework program that singers use to learn how to train, to get stronger, more coordinated for singing. It helps them sing better. It's called The 4 Pillars of Singing. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a song that I love. I think it's just great and a lot of fun to sing, and I work on it with my students as well. The song is called Brandy, and some of you may recall it was a tune that was written by a group from the 70s called Looking Glass. In any case, I'm doing a new interpretation of it, kind of more of a rock and roll interpretation of it, which we'll cut over to in a second. But first, I want to give you some points about the song that you can take away as a lesson. Now, one thing I really like about the tune is it's really great for feeling the syncopated upbeat. So I will introduce this tune to my students quite often when I want them to learn how to feel the meter or the rhythm of eighth notes. That is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it's really important that students stop feeling music and the songs that they're singing in quarter notes, in a quarter note feel, but begin to feel music in 1 and 2 and inside of eighths. Until you can feel music, it could be anything really, not just this song, but until you can feel music in syncopated eighths, you'll never be able to really lock in a groove and get the opportunity to syncopate. In fact, without accented eighths, without the accented upbeat feel in your singing, you can't groove. You literally, there is no groove in feeling quarter notes. Okay, any good drum coach will tell you that. It's when you start getting into the syncopation that you can begin to lock in the groove. So we keep it simple, because this isn't really drum class, but we keep it simple as singers. And if a singer learns how to feel and count in eighths, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, they end up beginning to feel groove in their music. Now that makes it sound better, it makes it more artistic, and it allows singers to learn how to kind of land on the onset. They get in and get out at the right moment in time. It just tightens up the feel, makes it sound better, and improves musicianship. The other thing about this song and this performance that I think is cool is on the choruses, you'll hear me dig in on a little bit of grunt distortion. Now the grunt distortion that you hear, it's very light, because I didn't want to get too heavy on this song, but I just want to put a little bit of a light layer of grunt distortion in it. And that grunt distortion, the techniques, the video demonstrations, and everything involved in how to produce that kind of distortion can be found in the 4 Pillars of Singing, in the coursework program that I was referring to earlier. Now, the other thing that's nice about the grunt distortion is that it creates a nice contrast between the verses and the chorus, and it's good to kind of create that kind of contrast. Now, regarding onsets, anytime I say the word Brandy, I'm conscientious of the fact that Brandy starts with a B or a plosive consonant. B, 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 b. And in the 4 Pillars of Singing, in the TVS method, we spend a lot of time learning about onsets. Now, what an onset is it just simply means the way we start a note, okay? And the onsets are first and foremost characterized or defined by the phonetics that they start with. Now, that might sound a little complicated, but let me explain. That just means the letter, the consonant or the vowel that the word in the lyric starts with. Okay? So if the lyric is Brandy, then the letter that Brandy starts with is a B, and B, the letter B, is classified as a plosive. It explodes. Other plosives are P, D, T. These are all consonants that pop and explode. They have a little bit of wind explosion behind them. Now, understanding that, understanding the nature of plosives or plosive consonants in your lyrics is one of the keys, one of the secrets, if you will, to learning how to sing a little bit better when you're working on songs. So in TVS and the 4 Pillars of Singing, we get into understanding onsets, how notes start, how they begin. And we learn a little bit about the phonetics and the letters that represent, that will influence how a note will begin inside lyrics. And when you understand the TVS onsets and you understand this basic knowledge of these very basic phonetic principles that we see in lyrics, it will help you to sing better, believe me. It can just radically transform your understanding of what's going on and your ability to sing. Another part in the song that is important that I wanted to point out is the text interpretation. In the song early on, you'll hear me sing the lyric where Brandy, the character in the song, is laying whiskey down. She's laying whiskey down. She's a bartender. Okay? She's laying whiskey down. And when I say down, I make a point to kind of whiskey down. You listen for it. It's fun. Now, it's just my interpretation. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or anybody should do it that way. It's just the way I wanted to do it because it was a fun way to do it. But just I just want to point that out so that you can hear it and hear the interpretation. Later on in the song, Brandy walks through silent streets. She walks silently through the streets. And when I come to the lyrics silently, you'll hear me very purposely being silent. Just a kind of a little bit of a whisper on that note. So there are some ideas that I put into the song to make it artful, and some technical things that you wouldn't otherwise be aware of if I didn't point them out to you, that we learn about in the training of the 4 Pillars of Singing and the TVS method. So I'll go ahead and click on the card. Let's cut away. I hope you enjoy the performance. And remember this, the proof in the singing is in the singing, but the proof in the teaching is in the teaching. I'm Robert Lunte from the Vocalist Studio in Seattle, Washington. Enjoy the tune.